Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tutorials with Aubrey. This is where you get exquisite mathematics tutorial videos. If you want to watch more tutorial lessons, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, from which the link will be in the description. For those that want physical classes and online classes, you can inbox me. All right, so now we are studying a series of statistics and probability concepts, and today we are going to look at a few statistics concepts that we're going to familiarize ourselves with. Now, if you get an understanding of these two concepts that we're going to discuss today, most statistics questions excuse me, will be just a walkover, where they will be easy to you, or they will be easy for you. And these two concepts that I'm going to discuss is something that you've heard of. It is when we're talking about when do we say the data that we are talking about is grouped. Excuse me. Okay, when do we say the data is grouped? And when do we say the data is ungrouped? Okay, so when do we say the data is ungrouped? Okay, you can give your thoughts before I start explaining. You can pause the video. So when we talk about grouped data, most people think when data is in a table, then that data is grouped. And when data is not in a table, then it is ungrouped, which is a misconception. All right. So what determines whether data is grouped or ungrouped is the frequency. Okay. So if your data has a frequency, then that data is grouped. And if it has no frequency, that data is ungrouped. Okay, that is to say, data can be in a table, but it is ungrouped. Okay, it is ungrouped. And that is to say, data can be outside the table, but it is grouped. Okay, so whenever we're talking about grouped data and ungrouped data, just know that grouped data involves frequency and grouped data does not have a frequency. Okay, so that will be the first thing that we'll be looking at even before we solve any statistics problem. Is the data given grouped or ungrouped? Okay, because if we denote whether the data is grouped or not, it will tell us exactly which formulas to use for us to solve the problems. Okay, so because there are formulas that are just dedicated to solving grouped data questions and formulas for ungrouped data questions, which I am going to highlight here. So you need to take note of these formulas. All right, so basically I'm just going to discuss three concepts that we're going to look at in this video, which is the mean, x bar, s squared, which is the variance, and s, which is the standard deviation. Okay, so now when we have data that is grouped, the mean, and mind you, these are sample data. So this is when we're dealing with sample data. In another video, I'm going to look at when we're dealing with population data. So, but this is basically when you're dealing with a sample. Okay, when you're dealing with a sample, these are the formulas that you're going to use right here. Examples that we're going to look at are covered from the Mukura University Mathematics Department 250 Introduction to Probability and Statistics tutorial sheet. All right, so let's look at the first example here. So the first example right here. Okay, a sample of 5 firms showed the following percentage changes in earning per share in the current year compared with the previous year. So these are the percentage per earnings. So we have 17.3, 16.5, 20.3, 14.7, 25.3. So now we're asked to compute the mean, variance. Okay, so let me just put one on here. So remember I said that we're going to look at the mode and the median in another video where we'll be covering group and group data for mode and median. So the standard deviation, so we're going to focus on these 3 here. Okay, so now the first thing we need to determine is the data given grouped or ungrouped. So yes, the data given is what? Is ungrouped. Let me just copy that. So the data given is ungrouped. So this is the data that we have. So we go. So to find the mean, which is x bar, just write minus here, minus x bar. So remember we add all the variables that we've been given: 7.3, 6.5, 20.3, 14.7, 25.3. Then how many variables do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We divide by that number 5. So now when we add everything, so the formula is right here. When we add everything, we're going to have 94.1 divided by 5, which is going to give us so this right here will be our mean. So now we move on to calculating the variance. Okay, we say variance, which is s squared. We say for ungrouped data, this is equals to the sigma, okay, of the individual variables. So these are the variables x, 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 right? Individual variables minus the mean, which we've already found here. So we'll say this variable minus the mean plus this variable minus the mean plus that variable minus the mean. Then we add everything together. So this is squared right now. Then you divide by n minus 1. Okay, so now we go on to finding the variance. What we need is this part right here. Okay, and I've just basically put the data that we have in a table. Now remember what I said, putting the data in a table does not make that data to be grouped. What makes the data to be grouped is the frequency. So since this is in a table, we don't have a frequency, it is still ungrouped data. All right, so there we go. So now from here we have x. Okay, x, we need to find x minus x bar. So basically we're going to get this number that is here. We subtract from it the mean that we had found, which is right here, 18.82, 16.5 minus the mean, and so on and so forth. So now having done that, all right, so after subtracting the mean, after subtracting each of these values with the mean, I get these numbers right here. So now if you want to test or verify that what you've gotten is correct, when you add everything in this column, this should give you a 0. So now in the next column we're going to be squaring these variables. So this squared we'll put there, this squared, and so on and so forth. Alright, so after squaring each of these values, we get these numbers right here. And when we add everything in this column, we're going to get 6. Let's change my pen there. 6, 8.848. Okay, 68.848. Now in mathematics, addition of something, we use the symbol sigma, and here we were adding these variables, which is sigma of x minus x bar squared. So it will be 68.848, which is the value we need right here on top here in our formula. Let me just highlight our formula right here. Okay. Let me just cut our formula out. So we basically have everything that we need to calculate our variance. So our variance will be equals to, so we already have sigma of x minus x bar, which is the number that is there on top, which is 68.848 divided by, we know that the variables are 5 minus 1, which let me write this. So let 1, 2. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comment box. Now the find